Speaking of important people, Gary, at 11 minutes after the hour, let's welcome East Lansing Mayor Vic Loomis to the broadcast. Good morning, Mr. Mayor.
Good morning.
Thanks for being available so early. As we understand it, there was a situation in East Lansing there at the American Islamic Center with a burned mosque with a burned Koran and the Koran smeared with feces. Can you tell us exactly what happened?
Well, thank you for your interest in this, and let me say that the exact details of what happened, you need to talk to the Islamic Center about that. I did go there yesterday to let the members of the Islamic Center know that it was a very deplorable act. It certainly takes on the appearance of a hate crime, and we condemn the actions that and the event that happened, and whomever it was that perpetrated the act. But the Koran was desecrated. Some of the pages were torn out and scattered throughout the neighborhood. And as I said, it's a very deplorable act, and we condemn it. This is not at all what the city of East Lansing is about.
The Islamic Center of East Lansing is right there on Harrison Road. Is it not very near the Breslin Center?
It is. It's on Harrison Road, very close to the Breslin Center. Harrison Road is a high-trafficked corridor in the city of East Lansing. A lot of people, both internal of our city and external of our city, use Harrison Road. It's hard to tell who perpetrated this act, but regardless of who it was, it's very deplorable. And as I said, we just unequivocally condemn those actions.
We heard so much about that situation in Florida where that pastor Terry Jones had talked about burning the Koran. He got worldwide attention, and all of a sudden now we see burned Koran and covered with feces, we understand, spread around the front there of the Islamic Center of East Lansing. What was the reaction when you went to visit the center? What did the leaders of that facility have to say to you?
Well, they're very appreciative that the city immediately lent its support to them. That we have an excellent relationship with the Islamic Center, both within the immediate neighborhood that surrounds the Islamic Center, as well as the city proper and all of our citizens. Something of this nature has never happened in the city of East Lansing. It has not happened at the Islamic Center. So it really surprises us all, and as I mentioned, it's just a very unfortunate incident. But we think and are confident it's an isolated incident. Could very well have been perpetrated by someone that has no affiliation whatsoever with the city of East Lansing.
Yeah, I suppose that's true because it is very visible. You can see when you go down Harrison Road that obviously it's an Islamic center or a mosque, if you will. And to think, though, that it would happen here is a little bit unbelievable. It's a little bit of it's a lot of a surprise because we hadn't been expecting something like that. And now the FBI is working with the mosque leaders, as I understand, and being asked to investigate it as a hate crime. Obviously, we've got a lot of young people living in East Lansing, at least for the time being, as students. I don't know exactly how they would track down a crime like this and whether it was premeditated or whether somebody just got a wild idea one night. But it's obviously no coincidence it happened on the anniversary of 9/11 and could be a copycat crime based on what the pastor in Florida, began to stir up last week with his threats of burning the Quran. We appreciate your time this morning. What happens next, as far as you know, and how involved will you be?
Well, I will continue to be very involved, as well the city. The Islamic Center does have an event coming up, and they were in the process of inviting myself and my colleagues on the East Lansing City Council and others in the city. And as we have in the past, we've always attended the events, been very supportive. As I mentioned, we have an excellent working relationship with the center. I do see this personally as a random act, and as I mentioned, it's just very unfortunate. It's just something that is so uncharacteristic of our citizens and of the city of East Lansing. So we will continue to work very closely with them and with law enforcement to see if they can't find the perpetrators of what certainly appears to be a hate crime.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate your time early this morning.
Okay, thank you.
17 minutes after the hour, that is the mayor of East Lansing, Vic Loomis, on the burned Koran covered with feces and the pages spread around the Islamic Center of East Lansing right there on Harrison Road.